Yes, I mean, there's so money, right? But when I do, I tune in to Bad Hombres. You know what I'm talking about? My good friend Christopher Meneses. I mean, this guy's teaching you ways to become a Don Juan, right? To get more dates. I mean, isn't that what all you guys want to do? What am I doing wrong? I mean, what's her problem? I thought everything was going great. Come on, Snapperhead. Just tune into the show.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris here again with another episode of Bad Hombres podcast. And I have here a good buddy of mine, the legend, money wizard. Anything when it comes to personal finance, you want to multiply your money, make money, save money, invest, give it away, everything. I got my boy right here. Wealth management, fucking genius. What's going on, bro?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Did you like that intro or what?
The intro was great. I mean, you've built it up, and you need to lower people's expectations, I think. But
I've rehearsed it a couple of times yesterday.
I guess we're over-promising today, so here we go. Let's see what we can do.
Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. Yeah, I know we've been chatting for a while now to get together and do this thing, man. And
yeah,
you know, we belong to a couple of Facebook groups when it comes to helping other men in the dating world, and there's a few things that would help you in the dating world. Fitness is one of them. We ain't talking about that here today. Game is another one. We're not really going to talk about that here today.
nah.
Finance is going to be what we're talking about today. Majority of the I think I don't know the exact number, something around 60 to 70% of marriages that end is due to financial problems. And
Money's a big one. It's
yeah.
it's probably number one. I haven't seen the latest stats, but I'd put money down that money is the number one thing couples fight about. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're
And by the
single
way,
or
I'm Angelo Mancios, by the way. So for everybody out there in the internet world,
yes.
and I've been a financial planner or consultant for just over 12 years. So I've seen my fair share. We have a YouTube channel called Behind the Vault, and our website behindthevault.net. So check us out and listen. You know what? Financial fitness or financial game or just financial confidence is so important. And you and I have been talking about this over the last few weeks
Mhm.
about how can men, I mean, and women too. I mean, it's not, I mean, your channel is sort of geared towards men and working with them, and you've been doing that for a while now. But financial confidence is, I just go back to the Wolf of Wall Street, where
Mhm.
DiCaprio's famous line. He says, "I've been a rich man and I've been a poor man, and I choose rich every single time." And while
Yes.
money isn't everything, it's not everything. Man, it's up there. It's
Mhm.
up there because with money comes reduced stress.
Yes.
And I tell you, if you're sitting there right now and you're thinking to yourself, where's my next mortgage payment going to come from? Or how am I
Mhm.
going to keep lights on? Or how am I going
Mhm.
to put food on the table? Like, these are some serious issues that people are dealing with, especially with COVID, right? They've lost their job. The CERB isn't enough. Maybe they're not getting
Mhm.
the CERB. They don't qualify.
Mhm.
Their lifestyle has taken a massive hit. But the really cool thing about COVID, the silver lining, me, I like to look at the positive, is that people are now learning what it's like to be retired. Because what is retirement?
Yeah.
Retirement is not working and living off your savings.
Yeah.
And that's what people are doing now. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, I don't have enough and this is brutal and I'm just surviving and scraping by, well, you've got a glimpse of what retirement looks like, right? And when
Mhm.
when 60% of Canadians spend more than they make, what you gonna do,
What
right?
is it? I think the statistic last time was they're spending 120% of what they make every year, and it's heading to 140 if it keeps going in this trend.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
disposable income because
mhm.
you've probably seen stats in the Globe and Mail that said for every dollar we earn we spend a dollar 60 or a dollar 70. The
Yeah.
problem with that that is it's a bit skewed, right? Because you factor in mortgage to that. So if I make 80 grand a year and I have a $400,000 mortgage, it really means for every dollar I make, I owe five. But if
Yeah.
you make 80 grand a year and you have a $400,000 mortgage over 25 years, that's not unreasonable,
No.
right? That's you're in there, right? You're in there, and now with interest rates being so low,
Yeah.
it's not that big a deal. So just, be careful when you look at media and you watch stuff and go, oh, these numbers are skewed. But when it comes to disposable income, Chris, you're a lot more accurate, right? About $1.20. But think of the mentality of people today, right? And
Mhm.
it's crazy. I mean, you know, my parents used to say, oh, kids today, right? And I'm like, I'd never do that. But it's not just kids. It's not millennials. It's not Gen Xers. It's everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
The idea of taking 3 days off work to go stand at the iPhone store and camp out to get the latest device, like, to me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to give up 3 days of work, 3 days of work. So whatever that income is,
Yeah.
plus I'm going to spend an inflated price on a device that in a few months is going to be readily available for everybody. There's going to be tons of them. And people will have worked out the kinks. Like,
And it's
listen,
and it's not even that much advanced as the advice from the year before. The device from the year before is probably has slightly better camera that you're not even gonna use all of it. It might have
probably.
some kind of fingerprint hand recognition thing that might be cool for a little bit, and then you get tired of it. All the basic functions and the speed is it's not really that drastic for me to stand in line, 3 days for the PS5. Like I'm
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean? I'm not
You know
that
what?
crazy about it.
My dad used to say, for every, like, whenever you're working, you're
Yeah.
actually making double because you don't have time to spend,
Yes.
right? So if I
Yes.
put in an 8-hour workday, I don't have time to go out shopping.
Hmm.
So for every dollar I make, it's like I'm making double because I'm not spending a dollar, right? So, and circling it back to financial planning, that's one of the biggest lessons I teach my clients and just people who talk to me about this stuff is it's not always about what you make and how your money grows, but it's also what you're keeping,
Yeah.
right? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you earn. It really doesn't. You can make $100 million a year. If you spend 102, you're a negative cash flow.
Yeah.
You're in debt. You're gonna do what so many people do, especially around this time of the year. They look at
Yeah.
their T4, they look at their tax return, and they say, "Holy crap! I make all this money. I have no idea where I spent it. It's gone.
That's
Like,
what
I
I
haven't
told you
saved
yesterday.
it. I haven't
Yeah,
saved
I
it.
told
Well,
you that
I,
like 2 days
I
ago.
wasn't I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, dude. But um,
Yeah.
but it's the most common thing I hear. I make
Yeah.
all this money and I have no idea where it goes.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because you know what? It's not the big stuff that's going to get you. You know what your rent is every month or your mortgage payment. You know what your car insurance is or your car payment. You know what the big, steady, fixed items are every month. What you don't know is how much you spend on coffee every day, or what you spend eating out every day, or skipping the dishes, or Uber Eats, or
It's
right?
a death by a
The
thousand
neighbor,
cuts.
yeah, the neighbor comes to your door. The neighbor's kid comes to your door. She's 10 years old. She knocks on your door. She's like, "Will you buy some Girl Guide cookies for me?" Like, you're not gonna say no. You're gonna pull out 5, 10, $20.
Yeah.
If you're me, I'm just gonna be like, keep the money, keep the cookies, but here's the donation because I don't want any part of those cookies because
Yeah.
it's yeah, 3 bites and the box is gone. So
Yeah.
I got to be careful, right? But it's the little stuff that gets you.
Yeah. And I think just like MMA, martial arts, fitness, and all that, you have to start with the basics. And I mean, I'm hoping this is obviously going to be the first one of many streams that we do. So I
Sure.
want to cover more of the basics now, as if this was like a martial arts session and we're just going to teach you how to do a jab and a cross. That's it. Because
Yeah.
those are the moves that will take you further. If you don't get those down, then all the other stuff is going to get really complicated. What is some of the basic things, behaviors, I guess? Because I think when it comes to money, I guess it's like 50-50 math, 50-50 behavior, in my opinion, I guess.
Okay.
50% math, 50% behavior.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, but I wanted you to touch on the basics,
Sure. We can
to
we can
start.
start wherever you like.
when
You know,
you're
I
a guy,
remember.
yeah,
Go ahead. No, go
yeah.
ahead.
When you're a guy and you want to like get to know how do I start to so I can if level up. I can get into my 30s or my 40s in a good position financially
Right.
freedom, not necessarily you, it's nice to dream big, but at least just to have some type of financial freedom and not be hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck kind of thing.
Right. So I'll start by saying this. When I was a teenager, I took martial arts and I wanted desperately to learn how to do spinning jump kick. And
Yes.
I really did. And I would go to my sensei after every class and I would say, teach me how to do a spinning jump kick. And he would say, no problem. Show me a good low block. And I'd be
Mm,
like, all right, sensei, I can do a good low block. He's like, no, you can do a low block. You just can't do a good low block.
mm,
Show me a good horse stance. I'm like, all right, sensei, here's my horse stance. He's like, no, you can do a horse stance. You just can't do a good horse stance.
hmm.
Right. And it took like a couple years, maybe 3, before I could really get that spinning jump kick over somebody's head. Right.
Yeah.
And I remember how great I felt. I mean, the confidence through me. And I remember doing that for the first time at a grading. So I was grading for one of my belts, and the sensei, he kind of singled me out. He's like, all right, here's the pad. Show me a spinning jump kick. And I didn't hesitate. I just jumped and I did it. And
Yeah.
you know what? That spinning jump kick came from years, months, days, hours of training.
Yeah.
So the first step when it comes to anything that you do is you've got to make a commitment to wanting to learn more about it, right? You've got to
Mhm.
put in the effort. You've got to do the work. And if you do
Yeah.
the work, then you're there. So many times we've got to bring our clients to what I call ground zero. And
Mm,
ground zero to me is getting to the point where we have positive cash flow. So at
okay.
the end of the month, are you going in the red or do you have extra money? That's step one. If you can't do that, everything else that we talk about, we can talk about investments, we can talk about insurance, we can talk about tax, we can talk about all this stuff that's out there.
Hmm.
But if you have negative cash flow every month, you're screwed.
Yeah.
That's it. Like number one, right? So I would say the first thing is get yourself to a point where you've got positive cash flow. Now you may have to look at yourself and go, okay, well I don't have positive cash flow because I spend my money on this and 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 this. And then there's gonna be a day of reckoning where you're gonna have to say, maybe I can't spend $5 a day at Starbucks on that large mochaccino, whatever, right? On that pumpkin spice,
Yeah.
whatever latte. I got to
Yeah.
spend $1.20 on a pod and make the thing at home,
Yeah.
right? There's going to be a day of reckoning where you say to yourself, I can't go out with my friends every day after work and have 3 drinks. I can go twice a week and have a drink, right? So listen, I've said to clients before in the past, and I've said to people just in my videos and in general, I don't care what you spend your money on. You earned it. You went to work. You put up with the BS that you put up with day in and day out to work. Just own up to it,
Yeah.
right? It makes me laugh when people say stuff like, oh, smokers spend so much money on cigarettes. If you just stop smoking, well, you can give a smoker all the logical reasons to quit smoking. But unless they want to do it, they're not going to, right?
Yeah.
I can give you all the logical reasons to get into the gym and lift weight, right? Lifting weight is better than doing cardio because it builds muscle, whereas cardio burns muscle. Building muscle burns fat because of how the body works. But if you don't like it or you're not interested in it or you're not going to commit to it, I'm going to tell you till you're blue in the face. It doesn't matter. You've got to
Yeah.
want to do it, right? So step one, I tell you, having the confidence that your bank account isn't going to bounce when your mortgage payment comes out, or let's take it to dating. You take a girl out for dinner and you pay for the bill, right? And we could argue about whether you should or shouldn't, and that doesn't matter. Let's say you decide as a man, I'm going to pay the bill. I invited her out. I'm going to pay, right? When you slap that Visa down or that MasterCard down, do you worry? Do you worry it's going to decline?
Yeah.
right? And if
Even
you
you know
do,
what,
that's a
what's bad.
problem.
That's a
That's a
It's a problem
problem,
if you have to go to the bathroom and check your balance to see if you can swipe your card.
right? You should, probably
Yeah.
should have done that before you got there, but
No, I think if you're at that point, you shouldn't even go on a date in the first place, bro.
right,
I think you got bigger problems than getting
right,
laid.
right, or go for a coffee and take a walk
Yeah.
versus go to a nice dinner for $200 that you can't afford,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And guys need to understand. Guys need to understand that there's no there's no formula of what you spend to how much she's going to like you.
Hmm.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
If you think that, oh, okay, listen, there's a threshold,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Like if you're gonna take a girl to McDonald's, listen, man, you're on your own for that one, right? No
Yeah.
judgment, but you're on your own. But you don't need to take her to the top of the CN Tower and drop $300 on a first date and then go, oh, but I spent all this money on you, right? It doesn't work that way. What works is, are you building that connection with her? Are you having fun with her? Are you, I watched a video the other day where one of the guys was saying, 7 to 10 of the women you're going to match with aren't, you're not going to be, they're not a match for you. You may match because maybe she's beautiful or physically you're attracted to her or whatever the case may be. And then you start talking to her and she's boring. And you're like,
Yeah.
ugh, I'm not going to take this one out. She's going to have something to say. And then from
Yeah.
the three that are left, you're not going to like one. One's not going to like you. And you're going to be left with one. So,
Yeah.
but if you're going to just, chase girls all the time and spend all this money on dinners and taking them out to show, look at me, I'm a big shot, and
Mm.
you're sitting there sweating because you don't know if your visa's going to bounce, dude, that's a problem,
Or like
right?
you take them out every week and you spend your 500 a week in dating and different girls and whatever.
500.
Don't be surprised when you get your T4 and you're like, wait a second,
Wait a second.
wait
Dude,
a
if I
wait
spend
a minute.
$500 a week taking girls out, that's 25 grand a year.
Yeah, no, I want to shoot myself right now. Just kidding.
But
No, no, I'm kidding.
that's the thing, right? It's
Yeah,
25 grand a year. You
yeah,
save 25 grand a year for the
you're set.
next 10 years. You got 250 grand saved. No growth, just for easy numbers. And then money doubles every 10 years. So 250 becomes 500, becomes a million in 20 years, right? So if I save
Yep.
25 grand a year starting right now for the next 10 years, and then I just let that money grow and double, I'll have over $1 million in 30 years. Okay, you're 60 years old, right? But now you're set for retirement or you've got a nice nest egg that you've built, right? Now you're going to say to me, oh, but I want to go, I'm 30 years old. I'm in my prime. I want to meet girls. I want to go out. All right, fine. So find a way to do both. Find a way to pay yourself first. Because at
Yes.
the end of the day, you need to pay yourself first. So rule number two. So rule number one is have a
Ground
positive
zero.
cash flow, right? Rule
Yeah.
number two is you got to pay yourself first. I
Okay.
mean, that goes way back to The Wealthy Barber. If you guys haven't read that, that's a book you need to pick up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because paying yourself first from a psychological and self-preservation standpoint, you're saying to yourself, I am important. I have standards, and I'm going to make sure I get taken care of first by me.
Hmm.
Because if you can't take care of you, how are you going to take care of someone else? Right? It's
What do
the
you think?
same.
What do you
If you
think
can't
the
love yourself,
government?
go
What do you think
ahead.
the government? What do you think the government pays itself first when you get paid? Right?
They're going
They're
to make sure they get paid.
before the money goes into your account, it goes into their account, and that's the money you
Right?
work for. So
Right? But
that goes to show you.
listen, yeah, totally. But at the end of the day, you've got roads that get cleared and fixed.
Yeah.
Fixed. We'll use that lightly. You got hospitals. You've got like I
Yeah.
had a triple bypass over 4 years ago. It didn't cost me a
Wow.
dime. Now
Yeah.
the recovery, there was a cost to that because
Yeah.
I had to take time off work. I had to rehab. I had
Mm-hmm.
to whatever. But I had insurance for that. So
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, if you're not paying yourself first and then living within the rest, that's a second big red flag. So number one, have a positive cash flow. Number two, pay yourself first. And that's not money you put away and go, oh, I'm going on vacation with it later, or I'm going to dip into it, or you got to start with the end in mind. Because if you're sitting there going, okay, I'm 30 years old, so we'll use an example. I'll pick on you a little bit. You go, I'm 30 years old. Let's pretend you've saved nothing. I don't want to know your situation, but let's say you're sitting there going, I haven't saved anything. I'm 30 years old. What am I going to do? Well, you're young and you can work now, right?
Yeah.
You can find a way to, worst case scenario, you get a minimum paid job, and find a way to put food in your mouth. When you get to 75 and 80 years old, do you really want to be stressed about putting food on the table? I don't, right? So start with the end in mind. And at the end of the day, say, okay, number one, I'm going to shore up my retirement. So when I do pull the trigger, I've got enough passive income that I can live off. So let's say you put $1 million away at 5% rate of return, you're making 50 grand a year. Now you may say to me, 50, that's not enough. Okay, so let's say your number is 100 grand a year. So you need 2 million saved, right? Maybe your number is 150 grand a year because you live in La Vida Loca. Then you need $3 million saved. Just go backwards and save accordingly, right? Look, confidence and the ability to sort of do what you want when you want it, I can't stress enough how freeing that feeling is. I can't stress enough
Can you fake
how
that? Can you fake that confidence, or is it something that you really have to have money in the bank to walk and carry yourself a certain way? I'm reading a
listen.
book right now called The Big Money Energy. It's pretty cool, and it talks about big money energy, having that walking into a room like you have $3 million in the bank kind of thing.
Right,
Yeah,
until you meet somebody who actually does, and you look at
yeah.
their energy, and you're like, oh, that's the difference.
I can feel the money. I'm in my office and I walk people all the time, and I'm in the subprime industry, and I always know, but like the people that have money always stand out for me, and they have masks and they're not wearing like super fancy clothes. There's some type of energy or aura that I can just tell. I don't know what it is.
Confidence.
It's the confidence, bro.
It's
It's the
confidence.
energy. Yeah.
They don't need to show off. They don't need to drive a fancy car. They don't need to have a big house. They
Yeah.
don't need to look at me. Da, 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 da. I saw a really great quote actually the other day, and it said, "Successful people don't post inspirational quotes online.
Wow.
Successful people don't post quotes online."
That's very true.
I don't know. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
just
I
you
can
got to think
attest to
about where
that.
the source is, right?
Yeah.
Like all this boss stuff. Look at me, I'm a boss. Guys and girls, they both do it. Look at me, look at me, look at me, and it's like,
Yeah, I
you
made a
know,
Facebook page, and now I can call myself CEO. I don't even know. I haven't even had a month of revenue, but
right,
I'm CEO. Hashtag entrepreneur. Hashtag hustling. Hashtag
right.
10x.
But that's the problem with online. You see a sliver, right? You
Yeah.
see a sliver of somebody's reality, and they can create whatever perception they want. At the end of the day, you got to work on you. You want to be a quality guy, right, or gal, right? You
Hmm.
want to be a quality person. You got to have your house in order.
Yeah.
So step one, positive cash flow. Step two, pay yourself first. Yourself. And people will say, well, what if I can't afford the mortgage? What if I can't afford groceries? What if I can't afford to go out?
Get another job.
Get another job,
At
spend
that point,
less,
you have an income problem.
downsize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, 2 hours of reading about making money, or 2 hours about you know, like I heard somebody say the other day, 2 hours in the gym is better than 2 hours swiping online,
Yeah.
right? It's the idea of that you're gonna work on yourself, and it becomes the package, right? And when you have that confidence, and you're like, whatever, and people are like, oh, we're going to this bar, let's go. You're like, oh, geez, I gotta pay for parking, and I'm gonna have to buy some drinks, and all these drinks are gonna be like $12 each, and like if these
Yeah.
thoughts are going through your head, you just be like, guys, yeah, I'm bowing out, I'm tapping out, right? I can't, you know. So
Yeah. I think, and part of rule one and rule two. I mean, you have to learn how to say no. You have to learn how to tell people, "Hey, I can't
Yeah.
go out. I can't go out," and that's gonna be so hard. I'm going through that right now. I mean, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I've been saying no. I've been saying no, and it's tempting. I got some tax money back. I had a couple months, but like, what was a wake up call for me was looking at my T4 and being like, I should be in a much better position. And if I feel like this in 2022 when I get my T4, I'm an idiot. I'm a real
Yeah.
idiot. I'm an
So
incompetent idiot, bro. So
it's sort of like that fool me once, shame on me kind of thing,
yeah,
right? Like you
what
went
was
through
it?
it. Maybe this
Yeah,
is your first year, and I'm not saying it is or isn't, but maybe it's your first year where you made some really good money, and you're like,
yeah,
yeah, like this is great. And then you look at the T4 and go, holy crap. So then a year goes by. If you're in the same position in a year from now, you've learned nothing, right?
yeah,
And anything that happens to you after that is your fault, right?
yeah.
So one of my favorite quotes from Muhammad Ali was, "A man who thinks the same at 50 as he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life."
Wow.
Well, I think back to when you were 20. You don't
Yeah,
you don't see the world the same way. You don't think the same.
I'll
I
smoke
don't.
that kid.
Right?
Yeah,
Was that?
I would say I would smoke that kid. I would just make him dance circles around me.
Yeah. And
You know
now?
what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
and like
Right?
day and night, brother. Just the way I think. I mean, look, man. I February last month. You talk about reading, anything, putting a little bit of progress every day, whether you read a couple of pages, whether you ask for mentorship, whether you say no to that Uber Eats and actually make yourself a home meal, everything at the end of the, just like the expenses pile up, the progress will pile up too, and then you're gonna look and you're like, wow, I got 5 grand that I wouldn't already have if this little micro things. Or
Listen, it's like going to the gym. Right?
yeah,
You walk into the gym for the first time, you're a scrawny little thing. Like you didn't get those big guns just by showing up, right? Like you've been lifting weight for 10, 15 years,
yeah,
right? And you're like, no, I gotta get in that gym, I gotta push that weight. And at the beginning, you're picking up 10-pound dumbbells and you're curling, and you're looking around at all these guys that are like curling 100 pounds, and they're like big monster men, and you're like, oh my god, they're watching me curling 10 pounds, and I look
yeah,
like such a noob. They're not watching you. They don't give a
no,
crap. You know what they're doing? They're applauding you. They're like, we were there too. We were 13 or
they're
15
watching
when we did
themselves.
it.
They're watching
Right?
themselves.
They
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 don't care.
really are watching themselves, right? But it's like anything else. It's like
And
anything else.
it's like, and I'm telling you, bro, if I don't go work out, I feel like I haven't showered. I feel like I haven't brushed my teeth.
Right.
That sort of, that sort of, we're creatures of habit, and it's just built so much in me. This is why the whole lockdown was very depressing, because I wasn't able to. That part of my life was sort of canceled, and now I was just like anxious. Right? I'm like, there's something. It's almost like I was forced to not be able to shower every day. It had that kind of feeling. Like, oh man, they're not allowing me to do something that was like part of my everyday life. You will go to the gym, even if it's just 20 minutes on the elliptical. I'll still go. It's
Totally.
mental. Sometimes I go for my mental
Totally.
health. Sometimes I go. That's the kind of behavioral um, pattern or whatever you want to call it that I want to have when it comes to paying myself first. It's almost like if I don't pay myself first, I feel like something's off,
So
and
do it
it's just
automatically.
I have to do it
So twice a
automatically.
month, twice a
Yeah,
month. Like if you get paid bi-weekly on a
yeah,
Thursday, on a Friday, you should have X number of dollars pop out of your account and do it
yeah,
pre-authorized, right? Maybe do it twice a month, the first and the 15th, or the 15th and the 28th, or whatever,
yeah,
right? But if you don't see it, you can't spend it. That's the key, right?
yeah,
And like you've been saying, it's like everything else. You've got to do the work. Now,
yeah,
what's interesting is you talked about how if you don't go to the gym, you feel like you haven't showered. You feel like, oh, like for me, I get grumpy. If I haven't done
yeah.
a barbell in a few days, or if I haven't done a few pull-ups, because
Yes.
like I've got a pull-up bar upstairs in my like in my house, and every time I go by the bathroom, I owe it 3 pull-ups. So
Okay.
if I one trip to the bathroom, and it's in a strategic spot where it's in the middle of three rooms. So if I
Yeah.
go into like my walk-in, or if I go into one of my kids' rooms, or if I go into the bathroom, like in and out is three pull-ups. That's it. I owe it three. And whether I do it like this or like this or like this, I
You're
owe it
doing it.
three. And I just do it because whatever, I got to do something, right? Keep my
Yeah.
sanity alive. So, your money is the same. So the confidence you get from building your body is, that swagger that you have where you feel, like I went through a transformation after my triple bypass 4 years ago. I dropped 25 pounds. I put on 25 pounds of muscle. I leaned right out. I got super strong. And that does something to you. The confidence is just, it's like, wow, this is great. And the more I liked what I saw in the mirror, the more I wanted to like what I see in the mirror, right? So when somebody passes me that second slice of cake, I can be like, yeah, no, I'm good, right? Or if somebody says, oh, I've got ice cream, I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm good, thanks,
Yeah.
right? So it's the same with money. When you
Yeah.
start to build that bank account and you start to put money away and you start to take pride in yourself. Look, it's at the end of the day, when people talk about, men being on their purpose, right? And they talk about, men having a direction and a goal. At the end of the day, it all intertwines, right? What we're teaching men and women, but men especially for this channel, is to have standards,
Yes.
right? Because if you take a woman out on a date and you can't pay the bill, right? I'll tell you, I've got mom friends at the gym that are single and go out with guys that cannot pay the bill, right? And I'm not saying you should pay the bill every time. This is not that conversation. I'm talking about guys that can't pay the bill, and
Bro,
they're like, "Why are you even going out with them?" They're like,
don't
"That
you
was
don't
one date, and I'm done."
I'll
Right?
take it far. I'll take it further. I hear that and I'm like, that's not the words I've heard. I'm like, I know girls that have to pick up the guy because they don't have a car.
Yeah.
They go and pick the guy up because he doesn't even have a car, and go to a restaurant and split the bill.
Right.
And he doesn't have a place to take them. So it's just
Right.
like, wow.
And you know what? And people will watch this video and they'll be like, "Yo, so what? So what? It's equal opportunity. So what? So what?" It's not about, you know, look, it's not about you it's not about you having to spend your money every time you take her out. It's not
Yeah.
about you having to chauffeur her around. It's not about that. It's about have some pride in who you are. Like
Yeah.
you're not 15 years old living with mom and dad anymore, man. Like, come on, step up here, right? So if you want to be a high quality guy, you listen, and it's not tied to income. You can make 40 grand a year and be a high quality dude and have your house in order.
Yeah.
You can make 400 grand a year and be a high quality dude and have your house in order. Making 400 grand a year doesn't mean anything. I got clients that make 30, 40 grand a year. They are set for life. And I've had clients that have made 200, 300 grand a year and they are screwed because they live la vida loca thinking, oh, it's always going to come. It doesn't really matter. I'm the man, da da da. And then you spend more than you make, right?
Yeah.
4 cars, 2 drivers, right? Kids are in private school, they're not that smart, stuff like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
gym membership, you never go, right? So
Yeah.
you got to take a hard look at who you are and you got to ask yourself, you know, if I want to have, that standard, if I want to be somebody that, I'm not saying you need to be able to rent a boat or a Ferrari every weekend and like, you know, let's go out and party and da da da, but just get your house in order.
Yeah.
The confidence that you will have from that, off the charts. And how do you start? You start small. 25 bucks a week, 50 bucks a week, 100 bucks a week, whatever that case may be. Maybe you're buying Starbucks every day for $5 and now you're going to do it, make coffee at home, and it's going to cost you $1.50. Okay, so what's 350 times 7 or 5, right? 15, $17. Do $17 a week. This is my coffee savings. Boom, into my tax-free savings account. And then eventually it becomes, and I don't want to use the word addiction, but it becomes like a fun game, right? It's like what you said earlier with leveling up. It's like, oh, I got the pot to 10 grand. Oh, now it's at 20. Now it's at 40. Now it's at 60. Yeah.
It's a
Right. Because
snowball effect.
it's a snowball effect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is? It's when it comes to investing, and people will say to me, oh, what's the next big stock I should buy? Or, I was talking to this advisor earlier today, and she's like, oh, my clients made all this money on a tech fund, and, we had such a monster year. And I'm like, yeah, your fund manager took a gamble and it worked. Do you know how many times it doesn't?
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't sustain that year in, year out, taking gambles on sectors. And at the end of the day, so what? If you're putting 5 grand a year away and you make 5% on that money, it's $250. If you make 6% on that money, it's $300. That $50 difference is not going to change your life. You're not going to retire 3 years earlier because you made 6 instead of 5, right? Your ability to save in the first 10 or 15 years, that's the power. You own
Yes.
that power.
That
That's all you.
that's what I meant
That's
when I was saying.
all you.
That's what I meant when I was saying it's 50% behavior, 50% math, because
Mm,
that's what it is.
you got to get there. Yeah.
Um, I think to add to your 2 points, positive cash flow, and the other one, what was the other one again?
Pay yourself first.
Pay yourself first. I had it. It's just anyway.
Uh-huh.
Positive cash flow, paying yourself first. I would add to that, and I'm not financial expert. Um, I would add to that staying away from consumer debt. Stop with the whole credit cards. I'd say I don't know. My financial literacy or knowledge came from two people. It came from Dave Ramsey, and it came from Grant Cardone. When it comes to Dave Ramsey, I got it in my head to the whole debt free, the baby steps. You having a nest egg. Being debt free and having 6 months worth of savings in the bank, that's a good spot to be.
And
And
COVID
then
is
from
and COVID has called everybody out on that, haven't they?
yes,
Right?
yes they
For
have.
the ones that unfortunately lost their job and are in a tough situation, COVID has really called them out, right?
Yes, I am in the subprime industry, and people come to me looking for loans. When a year ago they have a 750 credit score, now it's a 500 with a car repossession, and they're still looking to borrow more money. I don't know. It's
It's tough
if you
though. It's
it's
really
tough.
tough. Listen,
Yeah.
my heart goes out to them, and this is why we do these videos. It's why we started behind the vault, right? We started in November to give people tips. I was going back and watching some of our videos that we had done, and the one that I enjoyed a lot is one we posted recently was saying no to the big birthday parties. So for all the
Mm,
dads and moms out there that feel the need to have these like big birthday parties with all these themes and decorations and massive loot bags, and it's like, what are you spending your money for? The kids just want cake. Like
yeah.
think back to when you were a kid. You didn't
Yeah.
have like Belle and Ariel show up and sing songs to your birthday party. You didn't go to some play gym and
Yeah.
in and out in 2 hours. You got together maybe at the house or the park. Mom got pizza and a cake from the grocery store. And the cake was the best part. That's why you were there. Was to
Yeah.
get a cake and you hung out with your friends and who cares? Right?
Yeah.
So, but it's stuff like that, right? But people are like, oh no, but on Pinterest, this lady in Fort Worth, Texas, she did this, da da da. I'm like, she doesn't know who you are. She doesn't give a crap what you do.
Yeah.
She just wants you to watch her Instagram account so she can have followers. Like,
Oh, that's another thing, bro. That's another thing that we should touch on. The whole Instagram, the pressure that comes from the Instagram posts and the lifestyle. Bro, like you can't look at Instagram and think that the 28-year-old that you went to high school with is able to afford to travel like and buy a house, and you get people get so down on themselves when they're like 30 and some chick and some other guy and everybody's buying houses and they're posting vacations and stuff. Live your own
you
life,
don't
bro. Get
you
off
don't
the
know other
grid.
people's situation. Yeah, you don't know people's
Some of
situation.
these people
You
are
you
super
don't know if
unhappy and super in debt.
you don't know if an uncle passed away and somebody got an inheritance. You don't
Yeah.
know if somebody just got a really great job. Maybe they put in the work. Maybe somebody's been saving for 10 years from their 20s. Instead of going out every Saturday night, living La Vida Loca and money here, money there on drinks and girls and this stuff, they're like, screw that, I'm putting that money away. You know, 20 years old, you start putting away $100, $200 a month because you're living at home, you don't have those expenses. Let me tell you, it's and you know this, it's way different living at home versus living on your own,
Yeah.
right? You know, and it's also way different renting from owning. You know, I had a friend of mine who's like, I don't know, he got an early inheritance from his parents, and he's like, maybe I should buy a house. I'm like, you don't have the cash flow to afford a house. And he goes, why? It'd be cheaper than my rent. I'm like, yeah, until you need to change the roof or the
Mm,
foundation cracks, right? Or
mm,
the front door gets busted down and you got to replace that, or a window cracks. What are you gonna do?
mm.
Oh, I'm like, do you have 7 grand to change your roof? No.
He'll
Well,
probably have to take a HELOC or something for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's like, oh, let's go borrow money because my house needs renovations.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I bought a used house. Obviously, it's probably not built, brand new. So, you know, reviewing the steps. One, positive cash flow. If you don't have that, you're screwed. Two, pay yourself first. Three, start small. Start small. Start to look at what you're spending your money on. You know, and if you've got to claw back, claw back. Listen, I liked what you said. Get another job. Because when you're working, you can't spend, right? So do your 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and then do something on the weekend,
Yeah.
right? Here you are on a Sunday. Here I am on a Sunday. We're working technically. I mean, this
Yeah.
is fun, but we're working,
No,
right?
bro. Listen, I have a call at 4:30. After that, I'm working on my Fiverr freelance gig. There's a million things you can make money on. I've made money this month extra that you know what? That's my play money. So
Yeah.
now what I've been doing this whole year, which is challenging. I'm telling you, it's challenging to get paid. And you know, every time I get paid, I'm gonna go out here and there. And now I'm paying myself first, and it goes. So I go broke as soon as I get paid. I'm going extreme though. I don't know if it's a good thing, but I'm going extreme. I just give
No,
myself
you need balance.
the yeah. But I'm just like when I'm getting paid now, I give myself enough, to get my food, my bills paid, maybe a little going out, not like I used to, and everything goes away. Now I'm broke. And in my mind today, I'm broke. I'll get paid tomorrow, but I'm broke right now, even though I'm not because I have money. I'm broke in my head. And that forced me to stay home now and get my money's worth here. And now
And
I'm
learn how to
figuring out,
cook.
learn how to
Yeah.
cook. This,
Let
that.
me tell
Now,
you,
now,
I've been in my house almost a year now,
yeah.
and I think I've ordered in 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. And when
I
when the
think,
boys are here, we cook. Like we cook. I make pancakes, I make waffles, and I make them from scratch. I don't buy Eggos anymore. You know, I don't get like pancake mix in a box. I get the flour out and I get my mixer out and
damn.
I jam that stuff with like protein powder and bananas. And those kids, they're
Nice.
like, Dad, these are great. I'm like, yeah, you know what's
Yeah.
in those? Because my kids before with Eggos, they could eat like 6 of them because it's air, right?
Yeah.
Now they have one of Dad's pancakes. Let me tell you, they're like, I'm full. I'm like, it's only
Yeah.
one. They're like, Dad, oh my God, it's so filling. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we cook and we enjoy that and we discover that. Yeah, it's easy to be like, da 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 da, skip the dishes. And
Yeah.
you can do that every now and again, but come on, summer's coming now. It's going to be even easier to be lazy. Now's the time, man. Like, learn how to make a great rack of ribs. That's what I did in the summer. Learn how to
Mm,
barbecue chicken.
mm.
Learn how to make a pork roast. Learn how to, like, and you know what? Spend a day in the kitchen and then eat for a week. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you will save so much money.
Yeah. See. I think I want to dedicate. Well, the last 5 years of my life have been me doing this, but when it comes to making money, so I think I became pretty good at that. Like I'm always able to now find hustles, this, that, like with Fiverr or freelance work, I've been able to make, and I call that my play money. And
Hmm.
sometimes I get $800 worth of play money just by doing freelance work and things like that. But I've really neglected the whole part of saving it and using the money. I was just focused on making it, making it, making it. In
Right.
my head, I thought, okay, well, that's the woman's job. I'm gonna go make my money, and my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife is gonna manage all of it. I think I don't know. That's like a
No,
old school
no,
approach. I learned it hard way,
no.
bro. Listen,
Yeah, well, you know
I
what?
learned.
The good thing is you're young. You've got time on your side, right? And listen,
Yeah,
I counsel a lot of single dads and single moms that
yeah,
they get into their new situation and they never paid a bill,
yeah.
right? They never paid
My wife
a
handles
water
all of that.
bill. They,
Yeah.
oh, my wife used to do that, or my husband used to do that. It's like, well, no, you got to do that now. You got to make sure that Rogers or Bell get their money, or Cogeco or whatever get their money every month. You got to make sure your property taxes are paid. You got to make sure your visa gets paid. You can't neglect these things, right?
I
So,
neglected it. I neglected all that, bro. And then
right?
now it's like, whoa, well, okay. I mean, I got the making money part of it somewhat figured out. Like, there's always room for improvement, but that, what do I do when it comes in? That's what I was like, horrible.
Have a plan.
Yeah.
Have a plan. So I'll tell you. I'll give you an example. What I do is money comes out of my account twice a month.
Okay.
On the third of the month, anything I can't pay with a credit card comes out. My mortgage, my car payment, my insurance, stuff that where I ask them, can I use my credit card? They say no. So I know X amount of money needs to be in my bank account on the third of the month. Done. Then on the 20th of the month, I pay off my Visa bill or my MasterCard bill. So I put
Got it.
everything on credit, rack up those points. By the
Yeah.
way, my PC Optimum points are almost just over 900,000 now. So
Damn.
yeah, I did a video on how to get a free $1,000 for Christmas next year, and it was all about the PC program because you got to grocery shop, you got to put gas in your car, you're
What's
gonna
your
go to
YouTube
Shoppers Drug
channel?
Mart every month. What's that? It's called Behind the Vault.
Behind the vault,
So
everybody, for
maybe
sure.
maybe you'll link it below when you
I
post this.
100% it'll be in the comments.
Attaboy. Yeah. So you can start in January, February, March, whatever, and if you
Yeah.
start to optimize where you shop,
Yeah.
right? And you use those point cards. So you can go to a Fortino's, or you can go to Supercenter or Loblaws or Shoppers Drug Mart or Esso. And come December of next year or of this year, if you've got 800,000, 900,000, a million points, you got $800 to spend, 900, $1,000 to spend for Christmas.
Oh my God, bro.
Free, free,
That was me last year. Dude,
free,
my,
free money.
between petrol points, I get referral gift cards that people send me because I refer business. There's so many little things that you save them. I have a card that's on Turo making me like $5 a month. Just little things, and
I'm
next,
telling
all
you,
that's just play Christmas money. That's the
that's
great
it.
thing,
Totally. So
you
with
know.
my PC points next year, when I'm actually going to host an actual Christmas, because this year was just me and the boys,
Yeah.
I can get the meal at the grocery store. You know, I can get gift cards and Christmas cards and stuff like that. Not gift cards. You can't use points for gift cards, but like I can get like chocolate or greeting cards at Shoppers, right? Um, if I go to, let's say, some people travel for Christmas, they go to their mom's in Sarnia, or they go to Ottawa and they drive. Well, you can use your PC points to fill the tank,
Yeah.
right? So at the end of the day, you're going to spend money on gas. You're going to spend money at the drugstore. You're going to spend money at the grocery store. If you optimize how you do that, you maximize the number of points you get back, whatever the loyalty program is. And everyone's different. And just pick one that you like or that's convenient in your area. And boom, like Christmas is taken care of. Done.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm at the Supercenter tomorrow and they've got this big special for a barbecue or a smoker, I'm a smoker for the summer, and it's $1,000 and they have it on sale, it costs me nothing. I just
Yeah.
take my million points when I have them. Right now I'm at 900. I take my
Yeah.
million points and I go, redeem please. Thank you. I'll take that and make my ribs and chicken
It's
and
so funny. Eh?
steak and whatever. Right?
Christmas happens every year, but it always takes people by surprise. Like, dude, this has been happening our whole lives, and now
Yeah.
Christmas is here. You're like, what am I gonna do? I'm on
What are you gonna do?
overdraft. I'm in
Right?
overdraft, and like
Do you know how
Christmas is
many
coming.
people? Do you know how many people feel the need to go into debt at Christmas to give a
Oh,
good Christmas? Tons. I know tons of moms that will go into debt at Christmas and not pay it off till July
yeah,
because they want to have the perfect Christmas for their family. And I applaud them. But hey, plan for it. You know it's coming. It comes
yeah,
every year. It's just like dinner. Guess what? Dinner was so good yesterday. I'm going to do it again today. because
Yeah.
it's so much fun and I enjoy it. So it's the same thing, right? So make sure you have positive cash flow. Pay yourself first with the end in mind. Start small and then start to optimize some of the things around you that will give you benefits, that will make you money or save you money. You know, whether it's saving on tax, whether it's using PC points, whether it's any of that stuff, right? So whether it's
Yes.
getting another job, like you've got a second job. I got a buddy in Ottawa that I've known for 25 years. He makes 6 digits plus. Like he makes great money and he drives an Uber on the weekend because he's bored to tears. And he does it for fun. He's like, I got to go to the airport anyway, so I flip the Uber thing on. I take somebody with me. It pays for my parking. Or, you know what? I got to go from here to see this client, so I'll flip over the Uber app, and I'll pick someone up, and I'll drop them on the way.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying go drive an Uber, but what I'm saying is he makes great money, like great
Yeah.
money. He doesn't need to do it. He doesn't do it for the money. He does it for the fun, and he gets to meet some people. And you know, he's a bit of a clown, so he loves to tell jokes, and he just doesn't want to be alone in the car, I guess. But
Yeah.
hey, this is like you're on your way there. So you know, if I'm going downtown Toronto because I'm going to meet some friends for dinner or drinks in, let's say, I don't know, Yorkville or downtown, you know, maybe I throw on the Uber app and drive somebody down there and drop them off and make an extra $15, right?
There you go.
There you go. You do that a few times a day, but bank it. The extra money you make, so that $800 a month you're saying you make extra, take 400 of it and save it, and then
Yeah.
take 400 of it, and half of that's going to go to tax, right? So 200 goes to tax, and the other 200, that's your fun money.
That's
Come on,
your
you're okay with
guilt-free
that.
fun money. Yeah.
Guilt-free fun money because you worked hard for it, you earned it, but you
That's
didn't
it.
spend it all. And you know, listen, if you spend it all and you die young, what was the point? Sorry, reverse. If you spend it all and you live long, you're screwed,
Yeah.
right? Like 25% of women in Canada and 13% of men are going to live past the age of 95.
Wow.
You retire at 65 and you live to 95, it's 30 years. If you spend all your money, you're screwed. But if
Yeah.
you save all your money, 25% of Canadians don't make it to age 65. So think about that. If you save it all and you live on the dirt cheap and you don't have any fun and you're eating KD and beans every day, not that there's a lot wrong with that, but anyways, um, you get to 65 and never get a chance to spend that money. So there's got to be some balance, right? Pay down some debt, save some money, have some fun, but the fun doesn't, you know, you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars to have a great time.
Yeah.
I think that's where guys need to sort of curb that thinking a little bit, right? And it's
Yeah.
not a, oh well, she can pay her half because it's equal right. Da, 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 da. Don't be a douche like that. But at
Yeah.
the same time, you know, don't take her to some fancy restaurant if you're not willing to foot the bill. You know, if somebody takes me out like on a business meeting, if a wholesaler were to take me out, or if a colleague were to take me out, I would never order something on the menu that I'm not willing to pay for myself. Like that's a douche move, right?
Yeah.
So don't take a girl to a restaurant that you aren't willing to pay the bill for,
Yeah.
right? Find another activity, do something else. Don't do dinner. You know what? Let's go, whatever. Something
Picnic.
that's not going
Cheap.
to cost you $200, right?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go down to the waterfront and hop on our bikes and go for a bike, or let's, you know, whatever, man. Go for a drive, or I don't know. You figure it out. It's whatever you know. Figure out what you like doing, right? So I
That's it,
think
brother. On that note,
I
give me
think
your
that's a good
final
start.
thoughts. Give me
Final
your final
thoughts.
thoughts.
Listen, final thoughts, men out there. You know, it's not about the ability to take women out and show them how much money you have. That's a ridiculous strategy,
Yeah.
right? What you need to do is you need to think of yourself, and you need to say to yourself, if I live to the age of 95 or 100, how am I going to take care of myself? Start
Yeah.
with the end in mind. And then once you put that aside, then you can introduce somebody else into your life, right? Get
Wow.
your house in order. Build that financial confidence by getting your house in order. Spend less than you make, right? Pay yourself first. Start small if you have to. Optimize the programs around you. And if you need help, go to behindthevault.net and you know, ask for it. Go onto our YouTube channel. I know, shameless plug, blah, blah. Go to our YouTube channel, like and comment some of the videos, ask questions. We'll engage. You
Oh,
don't have
because
to
this
pay
is
us for
like
this
you guys
information. We'll
cover
give it
so
to you.
many things. I mean, there's like you guys talk about TFSAs and it's just like everything. Where what to do with your money, where to store it, how do you get your best rate of return? Hit him up, everybody. Angelo, that's my guy
Awesome.
right there.
Well,
Bad
listen,
hombre certified.
you have a great Sunday, and
You too,
we
bro.
will definitely do this again. And thanks for having me.
Yo, thank you for coming in, bro, and thank you for all the advice, man. Like I feel like this everybody should do this too. You know, I I'm surrounding myself with people like Angelo, and that's like you gotta keep finding people like that that you can learn from that are like like he would take the time to teach. If I don't have the knowledge on something, I'm sure I can call you and be like, hey, what would you do?
Anytime.
You know, I got paid. I got I don't know, whatever, this much money paid today. What would you do? Because I know you have the experience. You've done it before. You've been able to multiply money. You've been able to make right decisions for you and your family. And I know, I know also you've made mistakes that you may not want me to make.
We've all made mistakes.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I'll leave you. I'll leave you this. My mom used to say that smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people, they learn from the mistakes of others. So don't be smart.
damn.
Be wise.
Be
Don't be
All right,
smart.
everybody.
Be wise.
Thanks everybody for watching. Bye bye.
All right. Take it easy.
So dark, can't see a thing. I hear a song of the broken beat. Give me nickel, give me dime, give me dollar, I'll give you smile.